There's an organization here in town that's making sure women who are released from prison do not go back again. It's called Woman-to-Woman PRC, and it's run by a woman who knows all too well what pitfalls these women may face.
And people, they're real judgmental, because once a criminal, always a criminal. Well, I don't believe it. I always believe in the power of a second chance. Jesus Christ gave me a second chance.
Bernia Williams Kelly spent time in the Sedgwick County Jail on charges of intent to sell.
But I've been clean for 8 years. That's what saved me, is that I've done it once, I learned from my mistake, and I have not been back.
What made you finally decide to turn your life around?
It was a spiritual connection, basically. It was just the fact that I just really got tired of myself, and I knew that I could do better, so it was time for me just to stop the craziness, the madness, and just do something better.
That something better led her to start an organization called Woman-to-Woman PRC.
Woman-to-Woman, can I help you?
PRC stands for Professional Referral Club.
Woman-to-Woman, we are a re-entry program for women and their children. The women that are being released from prison in Sedgwick County Jail, and any services that they need, whether it's being an advocate, a voice, support, if they need resume, life skills. So that's what we do here at Woman-to-Woman.
Bernia also walks them through a laundry list of things they need to do to get back on their feet. Depending on how long they've been locked away, they may not even have a valid driver's license anymore.
They have to find a job. Sometimes they don't have ID, so they have to go get money to go get ID, which means you have to go to the Social Security office to go get your Social Security card before you even can get a birth certificate. So it goes on. So
who better to help others through the system than someone who's been through the system herself? Now, if you hadn't gone through the system, do you think you would have been as effective doing this?
I think I would not, because I would not understand my sisters and brothers that have been in the system, the discrimination, the not believing in people, the people that's brushing away from them. I can't give you another chance. I don't think that I would have empathy or sympathy for them.
By the time a lot of people are released from prison, they've lost their support system.
Because they had burned basically all their bridges. With their family, with their children, with the state, they didn't believe in them. Then even people that believed in them and gave them 2 or 3 chances, they were not having it, because 2 or 3 chances, yeah, but not 5 or 6 or 7. Not the same type of choices that they kept making.
After 5 or 6 or 7 or even more tries, Bernia continues to support these women, and it has really made a difference.
I have a couple women that have actually started their own businesses, that have gone back to school, that have gone back home, that have gotten their children returned to them. Out of all of the women that we have helped, I say probably about 85% is still out there doing good and doing what they need to do.
What they need to do to stay free.
Okay, so how can I assist you today?
Well, Bernia says one of the main things she teaches them is that the power is in their hands.
It's all about choices. It's about our choices.
It's hard to tell by looking at her, but Cynthia Salazar was one of those people who made a lot of bad choices.
I lost hope. I lost my dreams. I just felt like I was lost.
She's been incarcerated numerous times.
The last time I went in, I did like 4 months.
That was in 2000. It was just the last in a long line of things she'd been in prison for.
In 1988, I was busted with cocaine and firearms.
Were you dealing? Were you using? What?
All of the above. First time I did drugs, so believe I was like 12 years old. I really didn't live home really that much. I more or less grew up on the streets.
Cynthia was either doing drugs or incarcerated from the time she was 12 until she turned 27.
Deep down inside, I was in agony, and I didn't know how to reach out at that time. And I didn't care if I lived or died or what happened to me.
As strange as it may sound to a lot of us, it's a cycle that's hard to break.
It's the only life I knew. That's the only way I knew how. That's how I coped.
Wasn't the threat of going back to jail enough?
No, not really, because like I said, I didn't care about myself. I didn't take life serious. I didn't care if I died or not during that time. I was dead already.
So what changed your mind? What finally reached you and made you decide, I don't want to be this person anymore?
I met Bernia, Woman-to-Woman, at the employment office. I met her job seeking. And since then, it was like there was a bond. I talked to her, she listened. Not only did she listen, she became involved with me. She told me I was better than that.
And coming from a woman who really understood her.
She told me I could make it. When I was ready to give up many times, she told me, no, you're not going to give up. You're a winner.
Because of Bernia's help, Cynthia's been able to stay out of trouble for the past 7 years.
I realized that it was a cycle that I was living. It was a cycle, and I was better than that, and that's not how life was. And I thought everybody lived like I did.
Now, Cynthia has a full-time job.
Professional massage therapist. Now I did my training at Topeka, Kansas, Kansas Massage Institute.
But that's not all she does. This woman who spent most of her life taking is now a speaker at AA meetings.
And I love it. I love it. And it's a part of giving. And the more I give, the more I receive. I know I'm a changed person.
Pamela Green says Woman to Woman made a huge difference in her life as well.
I just feel like I've been saved. I was like one who did 6 months in jail, 30 days in jail, 40 days in jail. I went to Topeka, but probably for about 3 months.
Most of her crimes were related to prostitution.
Kind of brought this because I've been locked up so much, it's kind of hard for me to tell you everything. Because when I ran away, I was 14.
Sometimes all it takes to get out of living a life like that is finding someone who believes in you, sees the best in you, even when you don't see it yourself.
The awesome thing about Bernie is that she could see me on the streets, prostituting, smoking crack, doing wrong, and she'd be like, "What you doing? You know God got something different for you, Pam." She was always real encouraging.
Bernia goes to places most of us would be too afraid to go. She reaches people where they are and tries to show them where they could be. She doesn't just talk the talk, she walks the walk.
But Bernie's like, "Get in the car, girl. You want to ride? You hungry? You want something to eat?"
And the most important thing is, she never gives up on anyone.
Always had like an extremely positive thing to say to me. And her message to me is being hopeful, encouraging. She's like a big sister.
With Bernia's help, Pam has learned to dream bigger dreams, dreams this former prostitute never thought possible before.
She really opened my mind up educational-wise, and I like different cultures, I do. So I want to be bilingual. I want to be able to speak Spanish fluently. I want to learn how to write grants, and I want to get into real estate, and I want to be an RN.
Pamela met with a woman from WSU who has drawn up an educational plan to help her achieve those goals. And with her childlike love, Bernia reaches people in places most of us could never hope to reach. And she takes what some people would consider to be the castaways of society and changes their destiny.
I know what it's like to be violated, but I know what it's like to make you so ugly and sorry that you don't care. But I also know what it's like to be loved and to be completely turned around and like placed on solid ground.
77? No, 70.
That's it. She makes me feel like I'm worthy of a chance, of a new start, of making it. She's just been really awesome as far as hope and encouragement.
So, looking back on everything that you've been through, and you've been through a lot, what did you learn from it?
That's a good question. I learned that there's choices. There's a lot of choices. And now, whenever I want to make a decision, I always I'm thinking ahead of the outcome. I'm thinking of the consequences.
One concept I didn't understand is in order to win, I must hang around winners. And I don't feel dirty and ashamed like I used to.
I don't want to go back. I don't want to go back. I'm not going back. I know where that leads. I've been down that road.
Emperor?
Uh-huh. Good job.
And now they're on a new road, a road Bernia says is heaven sent.
That's God. That's not me. It don't have anything to do with me. It's the vessel that I am and allowing God to use me. I take no credit and no glory.
If you want to donate to her organization, or if you're in need of Bernia's help, you can contact her at woman-to-woman PRC at juno.com.